If you're about to buy a laptop in 2026, stop. Because the advice you've heard for the last 10 years is now partly wrong, and following it this year could cost you hundreds of dollars for less machine than you'd have gotten last summer. Something broke in this market. Nobody selling you a laptop wants to explain it. So I will. By the end of this video, you'll have a simple 5-part formula for buying the right laptop, and you'll understand the one thing that changed everything. And it starts with a number almost no reviewer is putting in their buying guides. Chapter 1. What actually changed? Here's the thing nobody talks about. For years, the deal was simple. Laptops got a little better and a little cheaper every year. That deal is over. Starting in late 2025, the price of memory, the RAM and the storage inside every laptop, didn't creep up, it exploded. A 16GB stick of DDR5 memory that cost under $10 in September 2025 is running around $30 by the middle of 2026, roughly 3 times the price in well under a year. This isn't a rumor. Samsung raised its contract memory prices by over 100%. Storage is climbing too, as NAND flash contracts keep rising through the first half of the year. And the analysts at IDC expect average PC prices to rise by up to 8% in 2026 because of it. Some vendors have started shipping desktops with no RAM installed at all, just to hit a lower sticker price. Why? Not because you need more. Because AI data centers are buying memory faster than the factories can make it, and consumers are last in line. So the machine you're about to buy is quietly caught in the middle of a fight you were never told about. Which means the way you choose these 5 components now matters more than it has in a decade. Let's start with the brain of the whole thing. Chapter 2. The CPU. CPU is the processor, the brain of the system. In laptops, you've basically got 3 camps now, and this is where 2026 already looks different from last year. Intel rebranded. The old i3, i5, i7, i9 names you memorized, gone on the newest chips. Intel now calls them Core Ultra 5, 7, and 9, and the current generation is Core Ultra Series 2. Same idea as before, bigger number, more power. But 2 lines matter. The 200V chips, codename Lunar Lake, are the battery life champions, genuinely capable of all-day plus runtime, and the 200H and HX chips are the performance and gaming muscle. AMD counters with Ryzen AI 300, Ryzen AI 5, 7, and 9. Same tier logic. What's notable is their built-in graphics. The Radeon 890M is strong enough that a laptop with no separate graphics card can now do real work. And there's a third player that didn't seriously exist a couple of years ago. Qualcomm's Snapdragon X2. These are ARM chips, the same family that powers your phone, and their whole pitch is battery. Early benchmarks suggest the X2 Elite is meaningfully faster than comparable Intel chips, with real-world battery life often landing in the 12 to 15-hour range, even if the marketing claims go higher. The catch: because it's a different architecture, some older Windows apps run through translation and lose a little speed in battery. For most people, browsing, office, video calls, you'd never notice. The simple rule: Ultra 5 or Ryzen AI 5 for everyday and light work. Ultra 7 or Ryzen AI 7 for gaming, editing, and heavier multitasking. Ultra 9, Ryzen AI 9, or an HX chip if you want top tier and you're willing to pay for it. And if battery life is your priority over raw power, look hard at Snapdragon X2 or Intel's 200V. But here's the part that connects back to the memory crisis. Some of Intel's newest efficiency chips have the RAM built directly into the processor package. It makes the laptop faster and more efficient, and it makes upgrading the memory later completely impossible by design. Hold that thought, because it's about to matter a lot. That's the brain. Real quick guys, Snapdragon and Apple last all day now. In 2026, is there any reason left to buy an Intel or AMD laptop? Let me know in the comments. Are you Team Intel and AMD or Team ARM? Chapter 3. The GPU. If the CPU decides where things go, the GPU decides how they look. The textures, the lighting, the frames in your games, and the speed of your video exports. First, the one distinction that trips everyone up: integrated versus dedicated. Integrated graphics are built into the CPU, fine for browsing, office, even light gaming, and easy on the battery. A dedicated GPU is a separate, far more powerful chip. If you're gaming seriously or editing video, you want dedicated. If you're doing email and Netflix, paying for one is a waste. For dedicated graphics, the current generation is NVIDIA's RTX 50 series, Blackwell. In laptops, that's the RTX 5060 and 5070 with 8 GB of memory, the 5070 Ti with 12, the 5080 with 16, and the monster 5090 with 24. Bigger number, more power. Their headline feature, DLSS 4, uses AI to generate extra frames, which can dramatically boost the frame rate in supported games. AMD's Radeon RX line is the alternative, usually at better value. Now, 2 warnings the box will never print. 1. A laptop GPU is not the same as the desktop version with the same name. A desktop RTX 5070 is a genuinely different, more powerful chip than a laptop RTX 5070. Same sticker, different product. 2, and this is the one even enthusiasts miss. The same laptop GPU can perform completely differently between 2 laptops, because manufacturers set how much power it's allowed to draw. It's called TGP, Total Graphics Power. A 5070 running at full wattage in one laptop can smoke a throttled 5070 in a thinner one. So the number on the box tells you less than you think. Always check a real benchmark of the exact model before you buy. And now we reach the component the entire market just turned upside down. Chapter 4, RAM. RAM is the short-term memory that lets your laptop juggle everything you have open at once. Too little and you get lag, freezing, and tabs reloading every time you look away. The old advice was easy. 8 gigs for light use, 16 for gaming, 32 if you edit video, and just upgrade later if you're not sure. In 2026, that last part is dead. 2 reasons, and they stack. First, prices. As we covered, memory has roughly tripled, so overbuying RAM now costs real money in a way it simply didn't a year ago. Second, upgradability. More and more laptops, especially the thin, efficient ones, have their RAM soldered on, or built straight into the processor. You cannot add more later. What you buy is what you own, forever. Put those together and the rule flips. Because you can't cheaply upgrade later, you have to buy the right amount up front. But not a gigabyte more than you'll actually use, because every extra gig costs more than it used to. For most people in 2026, 16 gigabytes is the sweet spot. Serious video or 3D work, go 32. Light-only users on a tight budget, 8 will still boot and browse. Just know you're accepting the ceiling. And whenever you can, buy a model where the RAM isn't soldered, so you keep the option open. Quick one, soldered RAM, glued battery, higher price every year. So do you even own your laptop anymore? Comment rented if you're with me, overreacting if I'm wrong. Chapter 5, Storage. 2 quick rules and 1 2026 warning. Rule 1, SSD, always, never a hard drive. An SSD makes the whole laptop feel fast. An old spinning hard drive makes even a powerful machine feel broken. The only reason to accept a hard drive is a rock-bottom budget where you need huge space for cheap. Rule 2, get more than you think you need, because software and games keep getting bigger. 512 gigabytes is a comfortable floor for most people. 1 terabyte if you game or edit. The 2026 warning. Storage prices are climbing for the same AI-driven reason RAM is, and just like RAM, storage is increasingly soldered in and non-upgradable. So the same logic applies. Buy enough the first time, because topping it up later may not be an option, and external drives are a workaround, not a fix. Last step, and it's the one I personally refuse to compromise on. Chapter 6, the display. The display is the part you actually stare at for hours, and the one most people underrate. There are 5 things that matter, and they are not equally important, so I'll rank them. Resolution first. Full HD, also called 1080p, is the sweet spot for most laptops. Sharp, standard, efficient. Below that looks rough in 2026. Skip it unless money is truly tight. 2K and 4K look lovely, but you barely notice on a small screen, and they drain battery. Worth it only on bigger, high-end machines. Panel type second. Skip TN, the cheapest. VA is okay. IPS is the reliable standard for most people. OLED is the best. Richer color, true blacks, and if your budget reaches it, it's the single upgrade you'll feel every day. Refresh rate third. Higher is smoother, but it mainly matters for gaming. Don't sacrifice resolution or panel quality just to chase a big refresh number. For work, 60 Hz is completely fine. Size and brightness last. Size is personal. Smaller is more portable. Bigger is more comfortable. Try one in person if you can. And brightness, measured in nits. 300 to 400 is fine indoors, but if you work near windows or outside, aim for 500 plus so you're not squinting at a mirror. So that's the formula. But before you go shopping, one honest take on all of this. Chapter 7, Balanced Conclusion. Here's the fair version. Laptops in 2026 are not bad. In a lot of ways, they're the best they've ever been. Battery life is incredible. The chips are genuinely fast. Even budget machines now ship with specs that were premium 2 years ago. This isn't a scam, but it is a shift. The industry is quietly making memory harder to upgrade at the exact moment memory got expensive, and that combination moves risk onto you. The good news is that the same shift makes this formula more powerful, not less, because once you understand it, you stop paying for the wrong things and start buying exactly the machine you need. You're now in the small group of people who buy with the full picture. So here's where to start. I've put my current picks for every budget and use case down in the description. Gaming, creating, coding, and everyday. All chosen with everything we just talked about in mind. Grab the one that fits you. And speaking of the industry quietly taking away your ability to upgrade, that soldered RAM problem we mentioned is bigger than laptops, and it's changing what owning a computer even means. I broke down exactly what's disappearing from your next machine in this next video. Click it, and you'll never look at a spec sheet the same way again.